Ready, Bill? Sorry to interrupt the public hearing. Started with our meeting, which is still coming out, so I say, First motto. Turn to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Jim, a blessing?
Please join in prayer or meditation as I say, blessed you who are used and us to thy service. Amen.
And I think we have a little bit of song to break into. Who's leading us today? Who's doing the song?
I meant for this to be request night. All right, we join in my country to the beat. What up? There you go. Thank you for that request. My one, three.
Pride. Have a couple of very short announcements before we start with our program today. The first is welcome to Karen Jolly Davis, who is joining us on Zoom today. And Graham Vinci is joining us as well on Zoom.
You guys shut up over there. Oh,
it's a tough crowd.
with all due respect.
Oh. So I guess I should announce we also have a guest here, Marty. You want to stand up?
Sure.
Marty has joined us again, and so we don't have to have Marty.
What time is that? 3. Oh.
It says he's joining the club, so we're so happy to have you. Couple of quick announcements. Again, we are doing the art walk in Central Park on Saturday and Sunday. So Joan, if you still have some time to assist, we'll take all of your assistance that you can, especially if it comes with a golf cart. Because we will need help on Saturday morning around 8:39, 8 o'clock, sorry, to help assist with the artisans and getting their wares into their space in the park. And then we'll need assistance on the back end on Sunday around like 4 o'clock to have them pack up everything they didn't sell and be able to go on home in a timely fashion. It'll be on the Strawberry Street side entrance to the park. So if you haven't let her know already that you can help her, please do so. We need all the assistance we can get for that. Secondly, the Chamber Fest is doing their concert. It's this Saturday as well. It starts at 3 o'clock. It runs to about 8 o'clock. Their band is 38 Special, for those who don't know. We have agreed to host jointly with the other 2 clubs on the shore to do a Rotary, Discover Rotary table at the Chamber Fest event. So I only right now have gotten a combination of 2 Rotarians from our club who will be there that day to work a shift. So you don't necessarily come the whole time, but if you can do an hour or 2 hours, that would be great. So I still need some additional hands raised. Mark is going to be one of those. Thank you so much. So I will be pushing on all the names over to Exmoor, who's taking charge of the staffing of that table, and hopefully they'll be back with you on that. They did give me the entrance tickets. They didn't give us one for all of us, so we got to share the wealth for us to all sneak in and get in and man the table. But if there's anybody else who wants to assist on Saturday, that would be great. Let me know if you are unclear right now, if you can do that time. Just email me, text me, Phone me. That's probably the best way to get up to me is to call me. But please do that. So with that said, and we also have updated our brochure and we're gonna have that available for handout as well, but Exmoor is supposed to be taking the lead on this, so I will try and get that communication out to everybody. We had our board meeting today, so a couple items I just wanted to make you aware of. We have always included in our budget certain contributions out to community groups, and we always keep a pot of money available for those that have not come to us, that we haven't identified yet. And right now, we have a pretty good chunk of money sitting at the bank that still hasn't been claimed or identified out to a community organization. So if you are aware of any community group that might be in some assistance for some funding, please let them know about us. We do have a one-page application that we ask everybody to fill out for a contribution request. I have it, it's on our website, but if you can't find it, I will email it to you and they can submit it to us and we can consider that for funding here in the next couple of weeks through our board meetings, okay? Let's see, club assembly, that's the other thing. Next week, we do not have a speaker. We're gonna be doing a club assembly, and I really need all of you to show up because we're gonna have some really important conversations about both our continued dining obligations at this location, as well as potentially a future home for us. So we're gonna be going over all of that with you, with the cost of what our menus are. If we stay here, what that might look for, some reduced menu options to keep us within a reasonable price point for all of our members, or potential new location for another restaurant to take us in that we've been talking with. So that is the exciting thing we're gonna be talking about in next week's meeting in our club assembly. Is that here? Yes, our meeting will still be here, same time. It's just no speaker, it's just a normal, I'll talk to you a lot more next week. So, Alan.
With the microphone, I like to be able to talk to hear whatever I have to
Yes,
say.
we will make sure the microphone is available. I'm looking at Bill.
Got it, Alan.
And last, I just wanted everybody to know, we got a lovely thank you note from the Northampton Historic Preservation Society, because that is one of the contributions we just recently released over to them, and they are taking our donation to assist in helping finish the restoration of the 1907 jail on the Court Green in Eastville. So I just wanted you to be aware our dollars do have an impact in our community. So we thank you all for making this possible out to our community. With that said, I'm going to start with a couple items. We have any happy dollars today. Walt.
I've got $5 because, as I've mentioned to you before, from time to time, I'm involved in a group called Northampton Social Ministries, and we provide funding for people that are in desperation. This is not even the middle of the month yet. We've already saved 3 families from eviction. And so, maybe I'm going to be in touch with you about the funding business. Because with all the government shutdowns, we are going to be flooded with people that are in desperate straits. So anybody that knows about other funding sources, please get in touch with me. If anybody wants to volunteer with this group, let me know. Anyway, I'm delighted to announce the 3 families that were saved from eviction. And there was another family that was able to keep their electricity in their house. So anyway, all this is good news.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Bill, $5. It's fine. Go ahead.
I have $10.
$10.
Because I'm happy that my good friend Rob Blossom is here today.
Jim.
$10 in the hopes that Rob Bloxham forgives the post 2022 coverage.
And if it's 20, if they don't forgive you? Jim.
Paul told me I should be happy about something. I don't remember what it is, but
Tired.
Yeah, that was humiliating. I had a flat tire. A bunch of young guys ran up and changed it for me, wouldn't let me do it myself. And I do not like feeling that I look that old. $10.
$10. Anyone else for Happy Dollar? We appreciate your happiness today, even on this rainy day, which I'm sorry, one of the few saying we actually needed the rain because I did not want to water all the plants I put in my garden over the weekend. So thank God it rained today. Bill,
Meeting's on.
Many, and so we are 3 people. It's like a quorum over there. Man. Oh, going somewhere else. Happy Dollars. No, he threw me off. Next month. Queen of Hearts. So does everybody have a chance to get your Queen of Hearts?
Okay, beating 10 clubs, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hearts today.
I got a 10 of diamonds.
Oh, we got an ace. I think we got the winner over here, Libby. Find our deck here. Yeah. Well, our baker is counting the holes for the Chuckling, make sure. Should you're good or the words when you want to go. Oh, you got the ace of diamonds today. You're still alive for another week of playing.
I'll tell you.
Got 35.
35.
That would be, yeah, $9 for the winner today.
Okay, so Libby, you get $9 to take home, but you can spend as you want.
Or give it back.
No That said, we are so fortunate that we have Rob Watson here to talk with us today. We're glad you're part of our club today, Rob. I think you might be talking about a little bit of stuff happening in the local government down in Richmond and what you're doing to us, or not doing to us. So the floor is yours, Rob.
Well, thank you, good to be with the club. I actually belong to the meeting. Yes. Lunch is very, very good. So Bill didn't really say what he wanted me to talk about, so I'll wing into, the governor just finished the session. So, which that means he's finished all the vetoes, he's finished the budget, and he's signed it. And so now you all are all safe because we're not in Richmond messing with anything that you all have.
Hey, Treasurer, keep it down up there.
So I'll go into a little bit about the budget, for at a 30,000-foot view. In Virginia, for the last couple of years, we've had revenues, like we haven't seen before. I mean, the revenues were strong from withholding, they were strong from sales tax, they were just big. We put more money in K-12 over the last couple of years than have ever been put in K-12. What we did this year was come back and in 2008, I guess it was, we cut funding to local schools for support staff. And this year we replaced that. We told them we do it. It just took us a little bit of time when we had more money and more money and more money. So finally, we did replace that. There was money spent on. I'm trying to go from the top of my head. There is the standard deduction was raised the last 2 years for state income tax. We actually made it permanent, so now it's permanently raised. The 1750, I think, for the married and 9,000 for singles in the Virginia income tax. We also rebated money back. In the fall, we'll get a $200 check if you file single, or $400 check, I think it is, if you file jointly. But there's money coming back that way. The big tug of war was, and this is kind of political. I find it interesting. Some people probably won't. But the governor was, his big thing was car tax. He wanted to come up with some type of way to refund car tax. I'm not a real big fan of that. I prefer standard deduction. I prefer other ways to give money back than car tax. And the reason being, the car tax is a local tax. The county has two ways to raise money. Car tax, a personal property tax, a real estate tax. That's really it. So if we take that away from them, then it's all going to fall on real estate. So I've always been of the notion the state needs to let the county do what the county does. The state needs to do what we do. But car tax is an easy target. Everybody hates it. I understand it, but it's not our tax. It's the county tax. And if you took away that, then the real estate would bear the whole brunt of that carry the whole load. As far as Eastern Shore is concerned, and I'll let me back up a little bit. In the state, we have to have a balanced budget. Unlike the federal, which is now doing their consolidation, they have a budget office and they go back and forth. I don't even know about their process. We actually have to have a balanced budget every year. So the budget that the governor gives us is a 2-year budget, and that happened last year. This year, what we did was the revenues are up or the revenues are down. We have to come back in and adjust. Revenues were up, so we adjusted up. Vice versa, if it was down, we'd have to go down. Every year, the governor gives his amendments, and he gives it to the Senate, he gives it to the House. We separately decide what we want to do, and at crossover, two come together, and then we put them in the conference. The first thing we'll do as soon as we get their budget is we'll reject it. They'll reject theirs, and then the conference committee meets. Now, I've been fortunate enough to be a member of the conference committee for the last 4 years. The first 2 years, and the way that works, the conference committee on the budget, you'll have 6 delegates out of 100. You have 6 delegates meet to discuss the budget. The majority party gets 4. Minority party gets 2 people. So on every conference committee, because it's broken into sections, every section will get 3 people debating with the Senate, 3 people. And if I lose you, I'll try to, it's inside baseball, but it's to me, as I say, I find it very fascinating. At that point, you have till the end of session to actually do the budget. And the conference report is where 6 delegates and 6 senators sit down and you beat it out. So you're sitting in a room with the senators and you're discussing point by point the budget, trying to figure out where you're going to go. And the reason I bring that up is because this year we're very fortunate on Eastern Shore to get some major projects again. I've been very fortunate over the last couple of years to get some good state support for us here on the shore. The one that you would probably be most interested in Northampton is Hare Valley School. If you've been to Hare Valley School lately, you'll know how bad a shape it's in. So this was the second year I kind of put it in, but this year was successful. They got $1.3 million to rebuild Hare Valley School. The new roof, new HVAC, new windows. Ron Matthews says that should do it. So I'm hoping that'll rebuild it. I mean, at Hare Valley, and I guess it's Hare Valley School to me, but it's not a school. It's where Head Start, Area Agency, Meals on Wheels. There's a lot of social services that feed out of there. So I mean, it's a real center in Northampton, and actually southern Accomack County. It kind of serves that area. So we've been very fortunate to get that. We got another natural gas. We've got a study going on for natural gas, and that'll serve northern Accomack County. We've got that heat up, ready to go. And then the other big, the money that we got this year was for the port at Wallace, the backside of Wallace. It's on the store. You got Rocket Lab built by the plant in Maryland called cheap. They bought the old Boeing plant in Baltimore. I understand that. The only problem is they didn't think it all the way through about how they're gonna get the rocket from Baltimore to Wallace. And I'm thinking, these guys. Yeah, they don't- I think so they're like, you've got to do something. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? And they were talking about having a beach landing. And I'm like, what could go wrong with a beach landing?
Yeah.
So there's an old ferry dock on the backside that they didn't even know about. The old ferry dock that used before the bridge was built, was how people got from Maxville, actually behind Maxville, where this ferry dock was that walked on. We're just going to dig it out and go ahead and try to make it useful again and bring the rocket in. So they're going to bring it around by barge and load it right on the island. That hopefully will be done early and get everything going. So to say that, I've been a concrete for 4 years. The first 2 years, as I say, I was in the majority. But more importantly, I'm in the minority now, and I'm still a concrete. So just to say, I mean, I only passed 4 bills this year. I don't really, legislation isn't anything that, all my bills are small, incremental ones that probably for efficiency, I do the BMRC a lot because I do resolutions and plans. I'm very familiar with the process. So most any BMRC bill comes to me to carry. I carried, for some reason, mines and minerals. There's an issue, mines and minerals, they bring it to me. Because I've been dealing in the sand pits for the last 3 years. If you ride by any agricultural pond on the Eastern Shore, you will probably see a sand pile next to it. Because they could not sell the sand, because then they'd be sand mining. They wouldn't be digging an agricultural pond. I know it's crazy as it is, I'm just telling you that. So every pond had a berm besides, because the farmer didn't want to deal with trying to sell the sand. Now they get 1 year to get rid of it. You dig your pond, you got 1 year to get rid of your sand. And it's probably not long enough, but we'll just that'll be something that will be tweaked, because the mines and minerals do not want to allow a farmer to mine sand without going through regulation. So that's what, but like I said, I've started dealing with that. And the reason agricultural ponds are important on the Eastern Shore is for irrigation purposes. We want them to use surface water and not well water. If you're going to dig a well, there's absolutely almost zero reason to go with the upper aquifer. There's almost no difference at all if we go to the lower aquifer. And we don't want them to pump water on fields from the lower aquifer. The problem is if you come from the upper aquifer, a lot of times you got a lot of mines, minerals, deposits in it. It clogs up the nozzle, it clogs up the equipment. So the farmer would rather go low. There's no reason for him not to. But if he pumps out of a pond, solves the problem. But still, there again, I mean, you've got to jump through these hoops. So that's where, most of my legislations like that, I must rather play in the budget. And I'll just briefly touch on, just so everyone understands, I'm state, I'm not federal. Okay, so there's a lot of chaos at the federal level, and you can probably go back and look at when Bill Clinton was president. He reduced the workforce in the federal government by 25%. And he did it in, I will say, a much more organized way. But the results will probably be the same with what Trump's trying to do with his cutting. And I say that because Virginia is very dependent on withholding and Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia, as much as I don't like Northern Virginia and don't want to go to Northern Virginia and don't want to get stuck in traffic in Northern Virginia, when it comes to withholding, they're feeding us. They're paying for our students. Not so much in Northampton, but in Accomack and Virginia Beach in Dalton, when I had Dalton. And I say that because of their LCI, which is local limits, which is another whole issue. But I say that because I've been put on a federal emergency task force by the speaker. There again, like I said, I'm a minority. Speaker is, Don Scott from Portsmouth, asked me to be on this committee. And we're really looking at the revenue to see, pay attention if the revenues drop. And right now, we haven't seen it. Right now, we haven't seen any of the sales drop. Sales tax bumped a little bit, but it was more of an anomaly than looked like a trend. Withholding is still holding pretty strong. And I say that with, I mean, since our budget, that would be what we'd have to do. We have to go back and adjust. I will give credit to Youngkin on one thing, what he did in the budget. And much to the chagrin of every higher education facility in Virginia, any capital project that was on the book to be begin the project this year, he exited. He got $900 million and he put it to the bottom of the budget just in case. He didn't start one capital project at any university. We're talking about UVA had a $400 million art center they're going to start. Fralin Center at Virginia Tech was another $300 million that he just did. He didn't cancel the project. He just said, boys, we're going to put it on hold. We'll see in the fall how the revenues look, because it'll be his budget will come out in the fall for the 2 years. And his deal is we can bond it. They're all good projects, but we can bond it and borrow it. We've got plenty of bonding capacity in the state of Virginia. We've got AAA rating. We've got 15% of our budget is banked away in the rainy day fund. I mean, Virginia's in a very strong position across the board. But he thought that with the risks involved at the federal level, this was a more prudent action. And you know, time will tell. We'll see how all that falls. But personally, I think it was a smart move. There's only one project that is kind of, I feel bad for, it's community college that was actually starting to build. So now they have to wait 6 months, which, you know, that's going to cost us some more. But they actually, that's the only project that actually was off the drawing board and was going into construction that he paused. So other than that, I mean, the Eastern Shore did well. The teacher, Coca, that when Lynn Lewis was there, myself, we were successful in getting that to the budget. That's held till now. I mean, it's still in there. It's about 1.75 million for the Eastern Shore for teachers or supplement because we have to compete against Maryland. So, and that's for it. We're giving the stipend, so it's against Maryland. Other than that, I mean, I'm welcome to answer questions. Like I say, we're out of session. Part-time legislature. I mean, during the week, I sell auto parts, I sell tires, and I have aquaculture business. So I was doing oysters last night till dark. But you know, we're safe right now because we're not messing with anything. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, this is a very serious question. How did you ever let Matthew Market close? Amazing.
Bruce worked from 3 a.m. till midnight every day. And he worked. I mean, he took that store to what it was. I mean, because I remember when the furnaces had, and they felt fortunate to sell it, and he got it. And I mean, every morning he was going in early, putting on Wonder Chicken. So no, I mean it's something's happening over there. I don't know what. He was actually over there cleaning it up, but he's not going back in. Bruce is not. Bruce is retired.
That's a man.
And in the middle of Mapsville misses him. I can assure you. We miss him. Any other questions or any other topic you wanted to touch on? I don't know. I haven't looked at the calendar.
The phones in schools. Phones in schools.
Yeah, more or less left to the local level. I mean, they gave guidance. We had a couple bills. I'm not even sure where that ended up. There are a lot of bills that Youngkin have tried to amend. And I mean, in my mind, if I say no the first time and then you send it back to me, I'm gonna say no again. So, you know, I don't know why we did that. Some of the dances we did in Richmond. I mean, you know, if the Democrats didn't like home choice the first day, they're not gonna like it the second day, they're not gonna like it the third day, so don't ask again. That's just, go a different way. But Youngkin is sometimes he can be a little headstrong. And he likes to micromanage, but as far as numbers, it's hard to mess with him with numbers. He is a number cruncher. He likes everything on metrics. And he wants to know how long it takes to B&B. He knows that he cut the time down to 20 minutes, from 30 minutes down to 10 minutes. I mean, he knows that's the type of stuff he is. You don't want to cut him short on those things. So. What else? Anything else I can talk about? Yes, sir.
I know there's a lot of turmoil in DC, but what is your feeling of how this is gonna shake out in the state?
Well, let me say this. Right now, we're not seeing anything. I know we're not gonna get that all got through. There's no way. If what Trump is proposing goes through, the problem in DC, unlike Virginia, the governor gives us his budget. We thank him, we take it. We can throw it away. The budget comes from the House. The House drives the budget. That's the way it was designed. I believe that's the way the federal system is designed. Congress needs to do their job. Let Congress decide what needs to be funded and what doesn't. You can take all these things that he's saying. It's like we do with the government. Thank you very much. And then we'll go do what you want. I mean, that's Congress has relied too easily on continuing resolutions. And you cannot spend $1 trillion a year more than what you take. You just can't continue that. So at some point, somebody's got to be the parent in the room and say, no, we can't do everything to everybody. Let's pick what we have to do. A good example, when I first went into Richmond, Medicaid was about 12% of the budget. Now it's 22% of the budget. So at some point, you have to figure out how you can either contain cost, or you just got to say, listen, we can't let this take away from school, public safety, transportation. You got to figure out where you're going to put your money, and you got to make the call, and you got to stand up and take the heat. And I think Virginia does a pretty good job with it. And it's bipartisan. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shouting and yelling, but you won't see me, if I can help it, on the front page of Virginia Pilot. You won't see me in the Richmond Times-Dispatch if I can help it. If I give a quote, it's probably going to be very vanilla. It's probably going to be very boring, and I hope they don't use it, because I don't think good policy is constructed in the paper. I believe it's constructed in the back room with the door shut, when you can discuss something with somebody and throw out the dumbest ideas you got. And they throw out the dumbest ideas you got. And at the end of the day, you might come up with one good idea that solves the problem. And if you can solve the problem, as soon as you put it in the paper, you're going to have a winner and you're going to have a loser. You start discussing it up in the open. You state your position. You've got a winner and you got a loser. And you've got no way to say, you got a pretty good point. And I'm going to go to his position without. If you do it in the paper, you're the loser. And that's, God forbid, social media, Facebook now, we don't want to be look bad. And I've never been of that mentality. I've always been of the mentality, I'll tell you what we agree on when we leave the office. How about that? I don't need you in the room to translate everything for me.
So I take it from your list of publications that you're okay on being on page 1 of the Post.
Yeah, it's an interesting place to be sometimes. Yes, sir.
Do you think Governor Youngkin will run the primaries for president during the election of 2028?
He wants to. But he's got a long time to be relevant. It's a hard. There are a lot of things you have to do to be governor, to be president. You have to be lucky. One thing, you have to be very lucky. I mean, take for example, Ralph Norton was 2 years in the Senate. happened to act like him, told him to be lieutenant governor. The Republicans put up a weaker slate. You had Trump in office. There are a lot of things that happened that made the path to governorship easier for him. Considering he only spent 2 years in the Senate, and he really didn't have any major legislation to run on. I mean, he didn't have, but then again, he didn't have the bag that somebody that's been there 20 years. He voted for that. I was, 18 years old. I didn't know what to do. But you know what I'm saying? He didn't have the bag. So a lot of us had to do with luck. I think Yucca would be excellent. I would love to see him, in my mind, go to be like the Secretary of Commerce. Or something where he can take those numbers and say, this is what we need to do, and this makes no sense, this makes sense, type thing. Because I think he has a good grasp on bringing new businesses to Virginia. I mean, we've really started cranking it up fast and bringing businesses to Virginia. We've done some key things in business ready sites, and even here on the shore. I mean, we've got 600 acres around blocks. It's prime for development. So,
Thank you.
yes, sir. Anything else? That's thank you all.
That said, I'm gonna have us all stand and say the thing you think, say, and do. I'm gonna get the bug out. You're gonna get stuck from us. They do already have one out for 100 years.
Thank you.
The club. So. That's Four. And Stanley are number 5.
Will we have fun?
Yeah. Great day. Thank you.